Good evening, students. So today we have to discuss highlights of the second introduction class. So already few concepts we have seen in video number 1. So this is continuation of that. So how the positive charge and negative charge is created. It is already well known fact. Atom is basically neutral because number of protons equal to number of electrons. So it is in basically neutral condition. So it is also reviewed that some of the electrons are present in conductors. Those electrons are available in incompleted shell or incompleted orbit. It is observed in the previous class. So each atom consists one valence electron. In crystalline structure of atomic arrangement, so several number of atoms have been arranged very close to each other. If one electron gains some energy in the form of electric energy, light energy or mechanical energy which is loosely attached to nucleus, then it may jump from one atom to another atom, that is its neighboring atom. At that condition the charge was created. So original atom loses one electron. It creates a deficiency of one electron. So it is referred as positively charged body, deficiency or shortage of one electron. At the same extent, this jumped electron may join its neighboring, hence it creates one excess electron. It gains one excess electron, then it becomes negatively charged body. Getting the idea? So the deficiency or excess of electrons creates the charge. If it has deficiency or deflect of one electron, then it is referred as positively charged body. If it has excess of one electron, such a condition, it is termed as negatively charged body. Try to understand. Continuation of that, basically electrically neutral, a body is said to be charged if it has either excess or deflect of electrons, that is shortage or deficiency. If a body has excess of electron, then it is said to be negatively charged. If a body has deflect of electron, then it is said to be positively charged. So next concept, electric potential. What do you mean by electric potential? The capacity of charged body to do the work is known as electric potential. Once again, the capacity of charged body to do the work is called electric potential. Every charged body has a capacity to do the work by moving another charge either by attraction or repulsion. This ability of charged body to do the work is called electric potential. So its practical unit is volts. It is expressed as in volts. Greater the charge, greater the ability to do the work. That means higher potential. Lower the charge, then it has less ability to do the work. So lower electric potential. So it is also known as the total work done to bring a unit of positive charge from infinity to that point. So already you are knowing, you remember electric potential, it is expressed in volts. Next one, electric potential. Already we are knowing charged bodies are having capacity to do the work. Now difference between two charged bodies, the difference of potentials between two charged bodies. For example, one 3 volts, one charge, another one plus 2 volts charge. So independently positive 3 volts has its electric field which has stress and strain around this one, and plus 2 volts also, it also has stress and strain surrounding that. So there is a existence between two charges, two charged bodies. There is a stress and strain between these two bodies, and always try to attains the balance, tends to produce the neutral condition. Hence potential difference is expressed as difference between these two charged bodies. Hence 3 minus 2, it is known as 1 volt. So it is also expressed in volts. Potential difference between these two charged bodies is 1 volt. 1 volt. Then another very interesting concept. In between these two charged bodies, a wire is connected. A copper conductor is connected as shown in below figure. Then what happens? Already it is explained that there is a stress and strain, hence it always attends to balance between these two charges. When the conductor is connected, lower potential is 2 volts, higher potential is 3 volts. Electrons starts moving from lower potential to higher potential. Flow of electrons creates from lower potential 2 volts to higher potential 3 volts. The opposite way conventional current will start flowing from higher potential plus 3 volts to plus 2 volts lower potential. Hence conventional current I ampere will flow from higher potential to lower potential as shown in figure. Hence next concept is electromotive force. Electromotive force is a force, or it is also referred as electric pressure. So in general it is referred as electric sources. It may be battery, it may be dynamo, it may be generator. Now you can show as shown in diagram. A battery is connected. Battery is connected of V volts. V volts that has a potential difference of E volts or V volts. Hence this battery is connected to a lamp. This battery is connected to a lamp through the copper wires. Hence it is a electrical pressure. It causes the flow of electrons. When the circuit is closed, it causes the flow of electrons from lower potential to higher potential through the lamp. Through the lamp. Hence conventional current I ampere will flow from positive terminal to lamp through the negative and completes its path through the battery and through the external circuit. Hence the conventional current will flow from higher potential to lower potential through the lamp. Hence the lamp is on. We are getting brightness. In similar fashion, lamp is example of load. Load may be anything. Either it may be DC motor, either it may be electric iron box, either it may be resistance, either it may be inductance, either it may be fan. So the working of load should be started. That is the way. If circuit is closed, if circuit is open, any one wire is open, voltage may exist, but current is zero, lamp is off. Try to understand. So it is already well defined that electromotive force is a electrical pressure. When it is connected across the load, then which results flow of electrons. Hence the conventional current will flow through the lamp. It is already explained. So its unit is volts. Potential difference. Potential difference. It is represented by V, potential difference of V volts, or EMF by capital E. The examples of sources are battery, dynamo cells or DC generators. Generally these are referred as electrical sources. Electrical sources. The resistance, another important electrical parameter is resistance. It is the property of material due to which it opposes the flow of electrons. That it opposes the flow of electric current in a given circuit. The practical unit of resistance is ohms. So as per the Ohm's law, resistance equal to voltage divided by current for a given electric circuit. Similarly, insulator, it is a property of material which offers a greater difficulty for the passage of electric current or the passage of electrons. Hence, these are referred as poor conductors, or in other way, insulators. Mica, glass, wood, PVC, rubber, air, transformer oil. Hence, to transmit the electrical power and to utilize the electrical power, how much the importance of conductor, same importance of insulation is also given, because these are two faces of a single coin. To avoid the leakage current, along with conductor, we are using insulator. Remember, sir. Next, conductor. It is the property of material which are having more number of free electrons. It offers the flow of electric current. Such materials are known as conductors. For example, copper, aluminium, silver and gold. Due to economical condition, the electrical machines are using the windings of copper and aluminium in transmission and distribution lines. Aluminium finds very good application. These are useful in cables also to transmit the electrical power. When the resistances are connected in series, because every model contains problems, you give the importance to some basics. If resistance R1 and R2 are connected in series, this series combination is connected across a battery of V volts as shown in figure. This battery will create or results the flow of total current is capital I amperes as shown in figure. Let V1 is the voltage drop across the resistance R1. V2 is the voltage drop across the resistance R2. So how you connect the series? The resistances are connected in series. First resistance, second point is connected to first point of resistance R2. If you are taking plus minus of R1 is going to connect plus of R2. In this manner, the resistances are connected. This connection is said to be series connection. What is the highlight of this one? The current flowing through the resistance remains the same. Remember, point number 1. Current flowing through the resistance remains the same, but the voltage across the resistances are different. V1 and V2. V1 and D2. In DC circuits, the applied voltage or total voltage of the circuit V equal to V1 plus V2. V1 plus V2. So you can take very simple problem, and total resistance or effective resistance of the circuit R equal to R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2. So you can take very simple problem. If R1 equal to 10 ohms, R2 equal to 20 ohms, these two are connected to the applied voltage of 100 volts. Then point number 1, total resistance or equivalent resistance of the circuit RT. RT equal to R1 plus R2. So 10 plus 20, 30 ohms. Next, total current. Total current I equal to P by RT, total voltage divided by total resistance. So 100 by 30 we are going to get as 3.33 ampere. After knowing the total current, go for calculation of voltage drop across resistance R1. V1 equal to I into R1. Voltage drop across resistance R1. V1. V1 equal to I into R1. So I is 3.3, R1 is 10, 33.3 volts. Similarly, extend your idea. Voltage drop across R2, that is V2. V2 equal to I into R2 volts. Therefore, V2 equal to I is 3.3, R2 is 20, 66.6 volts. So we are knowing the V1, we are knowing the V2. What I told earlier, in DC circuit, total voltage V equal to V1 plus V2. Total voltage is 100 volts. Total voltage is 100 volts. So V1 is 33.3, V2 is 66. So V1 plus V2 also 100 volts. Try to understand, practice same problem, understand the logic. Now we can see second one, resistance are connected in parallel. In this connection, similar ends of R1 and R2, if positive you are taking, positive are connecting, or first point are connected to one point, second point, or negative point are connected to another point. These two are connected to applied voltage. Such connection is called parallel connection. R1, R2 are connected in parallel. What is the current flowing through R1? It is taken as branch 1, I1. What is the current flowing through resistance R2? It is taken as branch 2. It should be I2. Let total voltage applied be the V volts and I be the total current flowing through the circuit. So you can go for the analysis by observing point number 1, very important, you have to remember. In parallel circuit, voltage across R1 and R2 remains same. Once again, voltage across R1 and R2 remains same. Previous case, in series case, current remains same. But in parallel, voltage remains same. Hence, branch current I1 equal to, by the Ohm's law, V by R1 ampere. In similar fashion, branch current I2, V by R2 amperes. So again, in DC circuit, total current I equal to algebraic sum of branch currents. So it is I1 plus I2 and equivalent resistance RT equal to R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2 ohms. Once you are knowing the equivalent resistance or total resistance of the circuit, then you can go for the total current. Total current I equal to total voltage divided by total resistance. Getting the idea? So this is one way, sir. Total current you calculate V by R total also. Hence total current is also equal to algebraic sum of branch currents. So same principles are applied in AC circuit. So if you are understand very thoroughly, it is very good practice. Third very important condition, same parallel circuit, if voltage is not given. These things are very important and related to V2 exam. So voltage is not given, total current is given. I be the total current is given. Then how you are going to calculate branch currents I1 and I2. R1, R2s are given. R1, R2 are given. Voltage is not given. Total current is given. Then how you are going to estimate branch currents I1 and I2. So current I1 equal to total current, then opposite resistance in which current you are calculating, I1 you are calculating, then you take opposite resistance, that is R2. R2 divided by R1 plus R2 amperes. In similar fashion, branch current I2 equal to total current I into you are calculating I2, opposite resistance is R1. R1 divided by R1 plus R2 amperes. Try to remember these formulas are very important before going to start our actual module number 1. These are all things you work out. You go on recalling, you go on practicing, because these are all things you have been learnt in your PUC level. You work out, all of you. Thank you, sirs, one and all.